It's May 17th. I'm here with Carielson and Cobaltios. I'm soloing, and we're here to talk about some anime and comics and stuff. Uh, so as usual, I guess we'll start with what we've been up to over the past couple of weeks. Uh, uh, Carlson, how about you go first? If that's
Okay.
cool with you.
Yeah. I didn't I didn't watch that much stuff, but I did read a couple of things. So the first one was from Free Comic Book Day called um uh Guard Mouse or I have the book here somewhere. But and then the other one was my wife is Waga Samiya-san. But I'll talk about the manga first. So my wife is Wagamisia-san. Oh God, I'm gonna butcher this, but uh, it's a very interesting story. So you have excuse me. So you have like the main protagonist, right? And he loves this girl that's pretty much like the perfect girl, right? Like she is very cute, attractive, she gets good grades, she does all this great stuff, and he always wants her. But then he realizes that when he wakes up from something, he ends up realizing that his wife is Wagatsuma, who is Wagatsuma. So yeah, so uh this is so like the main character, his name is sorry, I have to look this up, but like he's a very well, like it's interesting because like the art style is very what is it, more realistic and not necessarily moe or anything else like that.
hmm
But like it's just interesting because the main character, oh gosh, I'm trying to find out. um
What is the show called?
my wife is my wife is Wagatsuma-san. I know, but the thing is that like he when he sleeps and starts seeing all these time skips, he starts seeing like the future, and the fact he's able to see the future, he starts like working out ways to alter the future so that things would actually correlate with each other. Now, what happens that's interesting is that as he starts progressing through these alterations, things in his life of his future start changing based upon the actions that he's taken, right?
Huh.
So, like for instance, let's say that he's dating a what is it, like he's doing like an action, right? And he says, "Oh well, it's not gonna matter. It doesn't really matter." Um, and it actually matters because it switches up things consecutively. So, like the main character, Ayoshima Hitoshi, he pretty much like goes in and says, "Okay, I'm going to alter the future in order to make sure that things work out." But it may switch up from one person to another girl, depending on what he does or doesn't do. And it's interesting because you're just seeing this guy kind of control the future just to try to get to this one girl to make sure that this is like the one girl he falls up with, but his actions absolutely like alter between things. And I think that's one thing I like about this series. It's like from the get go, this is the one girl that he likes. There's nothing to debate. There's nothing to happen. And although he has many different options, it's kind of emphasized the fact that this is the person that he wanted to go to, and it was Wakatsuma Ai. So that's the person that he's going through, and I thoroughly enjoyed it because it's very hilarious. That the comedy's pretty good. The only thing that will turn off some people is that the art style can be very uncutified. Like it's not like unlike the moe and like the whole soft draw and stuff like that. Things can get really like different compared to many art styles, like Crumrighty High School style almost, where it's like you're looking at like different art styles, and for some people it just doesn't attract people, but for other people it does. So that's something that I personally been enjoying. I definitely say it's a read because the plot line itself is good enough to keep you there, but I think it's the character interactions that are very very good. I don't think that I've seen something this I would say I wouldn't say this sincere, but this more realistic compared to some of their other counterparts. You know?
So is he like jumping back and forth between time and
Yeah,
or
yeah. I
okay.
mean, he is, but it's like the other thing is that he can't control it. So like there'll be times where he'll just be sitting down and then he'll like he'll close his eyes, and then next thing you know, he's in the future, right?
Oh, I see.
And so like and then all of a sudden he's gonna do something, and then he'll switch right back into the present. And so that's what makes it interesting. I personally like that. And then as for the second one, um, hold on. So like there was a second one that was pretty much like for a comic book free comic book day where they had a bunch of different comics that in hold on free comic that is assembled into like a hardback. So it was the so like the title is called I think what is it it's like Mouse Guard, like Labyrinth, and other stories. But what makes it interesting is that it's not one story. It's a collection of stories in a hardback. And what makes it awesome is that you're reading through different stories and stuff like that. And I found out that there's a lot of different stories that were good, but the two that stuck out to me were Mouse Guard and Bolivia. So Mouse Guard, it was a short story, but it was about how this kid was trying to decide what he wanted to do, and his father ends up telling him a story about the three axe women three axe sisters that took up the cause of taking like the duty from their father about wielding the axes and stuff like that. And it was interesting because the story progresses and you learned that the moral story was that it doesn't matter where you fit as long as you fit inside what you like. That's the major thing about it. So that was a good story that I personally liked. And then Bolivia was an interesting one because so this one girl is asking uh, another person like what happened when they came into the U.S. Where was she born? She's like, oh yeah, I was born in the U.S. So she talked about how her parents came from Ellis Island and was getting checked up for a lot of things, had to go through all these questionnaires and all these other things in order to go through Ellis Island. And as everybody kind of knows, but some people may not because of different cultural different cultural backgrounds. Ellis Island was known as like the major immigration station for like in the 1800s, if I am correct. But it was interesting because you saw a lot of that whole deal with Ellis Island about learning about different names and like not learning to me, but like learn about how going through the process with them being identified who they are, what they were doing, why did they come to the U.S., etc., etc., etc. And it was a very good read. But here comes the punchline out of all of it. So then the girl asked, "So how were you able to notice them? How were they able to go through it?" And the girl said that, well, you have to that the outside matters don't tend to matter. As in like, hey, look, everything that is in the inside about what your character is more obvious than what's in the outside. But this is a dinosaur that is actually like saying all this, and her parents are dinosaurs that went through the whole entire Ellis Island trip. You know that's the biggest kicker of the whole entire thing because it's kind of interesting. Like you wouldn't think that dinosaurs would just walk through like Ellis Island and then get confirmed to come into the U.S. And I personally love those two. I thought that those two were like the most the best out of like everything else because they were interesting stories, stuff that I would say, hey, look, I want to pick up and definitely push to people, you know. But that's pretty much it. So I just read stuff, and that's pretty much it. Yeah. So how about you, Cabaltios?
Well, the great thing about being back is that now that I've got all this free time, I decided to just check out a bunch of stuff that I either hadn't got a chance to or just wanted to work on. And of course, the one thing I did want to see that I didn't get a chance to was Captain America 2. So I finally got around to seeing that one, and it was a heck of a ride. Much better than the first one. I like the whole without trying to spoil anything. Um, I would like the whole idea behind Shield and what Cap was trying to do and all that. And the funny thing is that because of I haven't really read the comics, so my only proper knowledge of the Winter Soldier is from Avengers: Earth Mightiest Heroes. So basically I'm expecting that storyline, but of course they alter it somewhat. So uh, I was it was good to see that, and I find I find it in these Marvel movies they're making a lot of what we call it like references to previous ones. They're making little side shout outs to like say Tony Stark or Bruce Banner and whatnot. Even this and it was cool they made some mentions to other characters that I wasn't expecting, like what's his name, Stephen Strange, so apparently they're making a Doctor Strange movie, I guess. And what else was there they saw? I'm trying to remember now. I also, yeah, I saw because my sister has I guess a download copy of it. I have we watched X-Men First Class. So now I've finally seen that one. Krielson, are you on? You're muted.
Um,
Oh,
but
sorry.
but like I've watched both. I did like Winter Soldier. I thought it was a pretty good movie. Though I think your timing for First Class is very, very appropriate since the movie's since
Yeah, that's actually kind of funny because I haven't seen I haven't seen any of the X-Men movies. I've only funny thing I've only ever seen X-Men Origins Wolverine, so which everyone considers the worst one. So I only actual experience from that one, so it's kind of bad I find. So at least now I was able to rectify that, and I've seen one of the better ones. So I was very happy with that actually, and I'm very glad they're doing the whole past present thing, which is kind of nice. So that was that one. And then I went back and started continuing where I left off at of Iron Man Armored Adventures because I remember finding out they had a second season on Netflix, so I started continuing from where I left off.
Okay.
Really good show. I'm really happy with that one. I'm glad they actually managed to finish that one. Yes, it might not be as good as some of the other ones, but at least this thing wasn't canceled. Thank God. They just kind of stopped it.
Yeah,
So
I saw a little bit of that some time ago. I don't remember how, but I really enjoyed it, and I never really got to finish it. So I'm glad that turned out all right.
yeah,
yeah. Yeah. Like, I think the most interesting thing about Iron Man Armored Adventures is the fact that for making Tony go to school, it works extremely well.
because when you hear the idea, oh, Tony Stark's going to high school, everyone's like, oh, this plot again. But oddly enough, they'll like you hardly ever see him actually in class. I mean, we acknowledge that he's going there, and that's you barely ever see it. It's mostly him in his workshop, or him taking on all these characters, some of which I didn't even know about. Which brings me to another thing. If you mentioned seeing my plight, the Ghost. What a cool villain!
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
not on anyone's side, really. He's just he'll do a job to get paid. Doesn't matter which side he's on. Just I'll get paid. That's what I'm doing. Really neat character. There's a few other ones I didn't know about, like Living Laser or what's her name, Madame Mask. Characters like those I didn't know about. So that was really neat to see that.
Yeah.
And I like how they did the style of it. The cell shading is really nice.
Yeah, I think that's for 3D, I'm usually skeptical, but the cell shading was really, really a nice touch. It makes it look more I wouldn't say just palatable, but more timeless. Like I could say that in about a few years' time, it will hold a lot better compared to things that went like regular CG. You know,
Like just like Team Fortress 2.
Yeah.
exactly.
And one thing I find funny about this incarnation of Iron Man is Pepper Potts, how she's so hyper and like all over the place, which is funny because in Ruby, the character Nora has a very strong resemblance to her. Not only that, but she's also pretty hyperactive and like off the wall. So it's really funny seeing that they're very similar look and character base. It's kind of funny that. Let's see. After that, during May the 4th, I watched Star Wars: The Clone Wars, which is also Netflix. So I
The
started.
series?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I started watching that one, and this is a CGI series that it was funny because when they first showed the movie of it, everyone was like having this not that great, but then the show came around, and it just completely shocked everyone because it was actually freaking amazing. Like,
Yeah, I haven't seen a whole bunch of it, but what I saw, it seemed like a quality production.
this show does not pull punches at all. Like, people will get killed, people will get like injured, or people will die. It's like holy crap, because it's a war. Obviously, this thing's gonna happen. They don't shy away from that at all. They show it, and I thought it was really neat to see all these like the fact that it takes place between 2 and 3, and all these characters that you really don't know much about. So that was kind of neat. And I didn't watch too much of it. I think I stopped around episode 10 of season 1, but there's a lot to go through still. But let's see.
Yeah, I
And
think
then,
there's like 5 seasons.
yeah, there's 6 seasons of this thing.
Oh, okay, even more.
Yeah. I think the sixth season is on Netflix almost exclusively.
Yes, that's correct. So I also watched DreamWorks The Croods, because I hadn't seen that one yet, and my dad found it on Netflix. So I'm like, I'll watch that too. And
Oh yeah, I saw that on Netflix.
I was actually really impressed with it. I wasn't thinking about it too much, but like the animation quality of it was fantastic, and it's just like people will say, yeah, it's just a cartoon effect, but the shading in that thing is just amazing, and they did a really good job with that. And the overall storyline was kind of interesting, even though like a part of me is going, okay, a lot of these animals are mixes of other animals, so is this prehistoric Earth or is this like an alternate universe Earth or something? Because that was the part that kept going through my mind. I'm like, okay, I get this is prehistory, but this seems a bit pushing it a bit.
Do they have a saber tooth?
Not really. They had like a saber-toothed tiger that had like the head of an owl, or like this whale thing that was terrestrial. It was really weird.
That sounds like what they do in Avatar.
Yeah, I was actually just thinking that right now, because it's weird how they did that. But I thought they did a really good job with the storyline. Even though I could like when I found out who directed it, I'm like, okay, yeah, that makes total sense. That would be him. Chris Sanders, who also directed How to Train Your Dragon, which I'll definitely be seeing very soon.
Oh yeah.
And, yeah, I thought it was really well done. I liked the whole idea of like the cavemen having this kind of rule like about like how to survive, being like new things are bad. And the catchphrase, it's be not afraid.
Nice.
Fear is good and all that. So it's kind of funny how through the course of the movie they learn, oh, new stuff is good and learn to adapt to things, and that's the whole message that the movie is trying to do. And there's some really hilarious things because, the whole family is kind of just random and hilarious, and it's really fun to watch, even though it's a little bit cringy at times, but like you just roll with it. It's just hilarious, the stuff that happens. Because you have to remember, the cavemen, they don't know quite everything that's in the world. They're still learning everything, so it's funny just to see that.
Yeah. It sounds like it's probably one of DreamWorks' stronger movies.
Yeah, it was. We'll get this later, but like the last Pixar movie that was released was Cars. No, it was Monsters University. I keep forgetting that because I have not seen that one yet. I really want to.
Yeah,
But like, I don't know. I feel like DreamWorks is really upping their game lately, and it's kind of weird now. Like, I almost feel like even Disney's actually starting to do better than Pixar, which is kind of scary almost. But we'll get to that discussion later. I haven't. Let's see. That's pretty much it. I threw this onto the what was it? The Play Knots Daily, but I stumbled across this webcomic called Thermohalia. It hasn't gotten very far, but it's a really neat concept. Like
Wait, what's it called?
Thermohalia. Thermohalia.
Okay.
And the first chapter of it, you think, okay, this is some really weird thing, and then you realize, oh, that's what's going on. And it's so far only about 6 chapters. Oh, they had just updated it recently. Okay, so it's ongoing, I guess. Really recent, like chapter 1 was 8 months ago. So This is a really recent series. I'm not really sure what to expect of it, honestly, but I'm gonna stick around with it, see where it goes. And that's pretty much what I've been up to. Oh yeah, and Revelert posted this. Like, I kind of just glanced at it. But Revelert posted this. What was it? This link.
Is that 5-minute or 2-minute thing?
The 2-minute anime. Oh my god. It's called TechQ, and I'm looking at this thing. Okay, it's like 2 minutes long. I'm like, yeah, right. So I watched the episode. He links to me, and watch this thing going, what the hell is this?
No, I agree. Like,
It's like, what the hell? It literally was 2 minutes long. Like, it was literally, they condensed what would basically be a 20-minute episode into exactly 2 minutes. I'm like, what is this?
Like, I feel like one person said, it's pretty meta. Like, it's like, oh my god, I was watching some of that, I was like, holy crap, it's like, you know, I wouldn't even say it's on, like, steroids. I would say it's on just speed, man. Speed or X, because, like, that's just, like, hyper active, like, everything is just going at you, like, boom, 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 boom. Like, they do, like, the opening, like, I think the opening takes up, like, roughly, what,
10 seconds, if that.
Yeah, 10 seconds if that. Then they go and they do the credits while they're doing the OP, and then they're like doing it like, oh my god, it's so over the top when it comes to doing stuff like that. So
I'll have to look at it later because apparently like most of it's on YouTube, and just the whole idea of it being 2 minutes long and just like, I went on Wikipedia to see, is this for real? This is honestly for real. And it turns out it is, because even the description on Wikipedia seems kind of, like, random, too. So I'm like, okay.
Yeah. That was, that's something, alright. Although it's not super common, but, there are other shows out there that are less than 20 minutes.
That was, like, 5-minute long episodes, but I can't remember what it was.
Doraemon, for example, sometimes has really short episodes.
Or Seki-kun, the Master of Time Killing.
Yeah. But for me, I didn't watch a ton or read a ton over the past month or so because I've been kind of busy. But I finally caught up with the New 52 Flash because Flash Annual number 3 came out at the end of April. Like, I want to see what's happening with Flash these days. So they're up to number 30 now, and I left off around 22 or 23, which is the Reverse Flash arc. But it's still coming along pretty nicely. They had one arc which was pretty neat. It has a historical background. Like, I don't know if either of you have read like Batman Gates of Gotham or whatever, where they explore like the origins of Gotham, like all the way back to when it was founded in the 1800s, and they have this mystery that's going on that traces all the way back to modern day. But there's an arc from 27 to 29 in Flash that's kind of like that. It was really neat. I always like historical fiction stuff like that. And starting with number 30, they've moved on past Forever Evil. Right at the beginning of 30, Barry's talking about like how Central City is all ruined and messed up because the crime syndicate orders it to be like leveled because it's one of it's the Flash's hometown. Um, but yeah, it's coming along nicely. The annual was nuts. It was. I mean, it wouldn't really be a Flash book without like there being something completely absurd going on every few issues. Because I mean, we're talking about a guy who like jumps back and forth in time, and sometimes he ends up in different dimensions and stuff. Um,
The Flash?
yeah, Flash, he gets up to crazy stuff. There was one arc called the Human Race in Volume 2, uh, where he had to these two aliens invaded Earth, and they said, "We're going to destroy Earth if you don't participate in this race for us, because we like to gamble, and we heard you're really fast, so we're going to bet on you." So we have all these other guys who are also racing for their worlds, and so we want you to race across the galaxy and across dimensions. And it already sounds absurd, I know.
Like, see, I don't really know much about like certain of these DC characters, so that's kind of interesting to see that, hear about like a comic based on him, because usually I don't think I've ever like thought much about the guy. It's kind of
Yeah,
neat though.
yeah, yeah. Human Race is a great arc because he at the end he outruns instantaneous travel. Because the aliens they can just teleport places where they need to.
Because why not?
Yeah, and everyone whenever they talk about like how whenever people talk about like oh Flash is super duper OP, they always refer to that moment because it was like the Flash's equivalent of the Spirit Bomb because he had to borrow everyone's kinetic energy from Earth. Like everyone
Oh, you're
on Earth ran at once. All the heroes, Superman and all of them, they all ran, and he had borrowed all their kinetic energy to go super duper fast. So fast that he outran instantaneous travel. Beat the aliens back to Earth.
Oh,
Save the day.
like
I
wow.
I thought we established that Flash was OP when he outran Death, and also
Yeah, he's done that too.
and also yeah. Plus, yeah, and there's also a point where what was it in the Justice League cartoon where he goes so fast that he literally punches Brainiac out of a fused Brainiac and Lex Luthor, and then of course, and then he
Yeah, the infinite mass punch. He
yeah.
goes so fast that his mass becomes infinite, and then he punches people with infinite mass,
Oh my god.
like a hammer with infinite mass hitting you in the face. That's
And-
super.
It's like,
But,
let's throw all suspension of disbelief away just because, like, hey, you have superpowers. Physics don't really matter to us. That's what I feel like it's doing.
Well,
yeah, yes and no. What's kind of ironic is that Flash as a comic was founded to kind of get kids into science, specifically physics, like back in the 40s. And so they actually talk a lot about certain physical concepts and such, which is and as someone who enjoys physics, that's part of what I enjoy about the comic. They explain the physical concepts and then they ignore them.
yeah.
It's just like modern video gaming.
Yeah. Yeah, that's Flash. It's come along real nicely. They introduced Wally West as they promised back into the DC universe, but it's not as meaningful as they make it out to be, because and I guess it makes sense. Like when Wally was first introduced originally, like it's not like he had superpowers immediately, but they did a good job with his introduction. He's still Iris's nephew, like he was originally, and he's still some punk kid who doesn't like his parents. But it feels like they have a long-term plan for this comic. Like there's so many plot hooks that they still have yet to really like mine, and I feel like it feels like there's like they have a plan for them, and it's not often that I read a comic that actually feels like long-term plan as opposed to just like planned on a weekly basis, which is nice. And then I watched Giant Robo: The Day the Earth Stood Still, um, which was a 7-episode OVA that came out in the 90s. It's a mecha OVA. And Giant Robo takes place in this world where humanity has moved beyond fossil fuels. They made this trio or team of scientists. They discovered this. They made this huge scientific breakthrough that allowed them to develop this new energy source called the Shizuma drive. And it's completely clean. It's a limitless source of energy, and now everything in the world is powered by it. From like cars, to lighters, to emergency systems.
Wait, too good to be true.
Yeah. And in this world, powered by Shizuma drives, you have 2 organizations that are kind of duking it out in the background. You have Big Fire, which is this international villainous organization like Team Rocket or something, and they want to take over the world. And fighting against Big Fire is the IPO, or International Police Organization, like Interpol or something.
God.
And within the IPO, there's this special echelon of like agents. They're called the Experts of Justice, and they're all badasses. Like there's this monk guy who uses like optical illusions and such. And one of the Experts of Justice is this little boy. He's like 12 years old. His name is Daisuke Kusama. And what makes him special is that he is the sole owner of the most powerful robot in the world. It's called Giant Robo. Yes. And he it's like Pacific Rim size. It's this gigantic robot. And he has this watch that has a mic in it, and he just speaks into it and commands Giant Robo. Like, Giant Robo, beat that guy up, and Giant Robo will do that.
Wait, I'm starting to think. I think it sounds very familiar now.
It's kind of a well-known series. It's been around. But so the plot of the OVA basically revolves around Big Fire. They've hatched this plan to eradicate the Shizuma drive. Just they don't like it. They want to get rid of it. Because if they can do that, the world will basically be at their mercy. Because without power, nobody can like power their tanks or their emergency systems or fight a war. So that's kind of what the OVA is about in the grand scheme of things. There's more to it. Like there's a specific reason why they want to get rid of the Shizuma drive. Like they think one of the guys that's working with Big Fire, he has like a personal vendetta against Shizuma drive because of its origins, how it was made. Because one of the scientists supposedly he was betrayed in the process of discovering the Shizuma drive, and his son remembers that, and he went on to join Big Fire and become a big shot in it. And so now he's using Big Fire to try and exact his revenge on the Shizuma drive and the people who developed it. But no, it's pretty great. It's like it's really well animated for a '90s show, and it has like this orchestral score, operatic, I think Wikipedia described it as, and it's just all around kind of enjoyable. The one thing that I thought was kind of weird about it is that it's pretty much standalone, canonically speaking. Like there are side stories, but they take place in different continuities. So there's no like main series or manga or something to go to for a prequel or sequel or something. It's completely standalone. but it feels like one chapter in a long saga. Like there's even like a to be continued at the end of episode 7, kind of. I mean, they say it's the end, but they have like a preview clip, just like at the end of every other episode. Like we're going towards the final showdown
To
with
be
big fire. Um, but it feels like one piece of a long saga, which kind of bummer because it left me wanting more. But yeah, it was pretty good.
Talking about this, I decided to just check it out, like just look at some, look it up on Google, Wikipedia images. So
Hmm.
Giant Robo looks like some kind of giant Egyptian pharaoh or something.
Yeah.
What the heck is up with that?
Yeah, he's really big and bulky, and he never speaks. He just makes like these grunt sounds. Um, so like whenever Daisuke gives him a command, he'll just make a grunt
Apparently, he
and then
has
go do it.
like these handbars on the robot's head, so the main character can just like hang on to while he speaks commands in the watch.
Yeah, the guy doesn't pilot it. He just kind of stands on Giant Robo's shoulder with the watch at his mouth, and he just talks.
Curious, but okay, whatever works.
Yeah, it wasn't what I was expecting. I thought it was going to be like a mecha in the sense that you pilot it, uh, but no, it's independent, and he just controls it. Um, but yeah, it was pretty good. And then I watched a movie called The Princess and the Pilot.
Yeah, I've heard of that, but you can tell me what it's about because I've heard about it, but I haven't really looked into it.
Yeah, I kind of happened upon this by chance. I don't know what I was doing, but um, I like I like plane movies, so this was kind of nice. Uh, The Princess and the Pilot is they don't do a very good job like explaining the setting, but basically the core story is you have this you have two countries. I don't remember the name of the two countries, but we'll just call the main country Country A. And there's the Country A has a princess. They're governed by a princess, um, and they want to form an alliance with Country B. And the way they're planning to do that is the princess is going to marry the prince of Country B. Um, but Country C is declaring war on Country A, and they don't want this alliance to happen. Um, so they've been trying to assassinate the princess. Like at the beginning of the movie, they send a bombing run straight into Country A that destroys her home and kills her father. Um,
Wow.
yeah. So they decide we're going to conduct a secret mission to get this princess to Country B so she can marry this prince, and we'll have an alliance, and we can beat Country C. Um, and so to do this, they hire a special pilot. He's really skilled. He's a mercenary. Um, and there's a kind of a discriminatory undertone going on because he's this race of people who his mother was born in Country A, and his father I think was born in Country C, and
Oh,
so
okay.
he's like a hybrid who's discriminated against because he has the blood of their enemies. So everyone kind of treats him bad, but he's the best. He's the best pilot in their air force. So they have no
Of
choice.
course.
Yeah. So they have no choice but to hire this guy for the secret mission, and that's to ferry this princess across the ocean and across the world to Country B so she can marry the prince. And so the movie is at its core, it's about their journey together. It's just him and the princess in his plane, flying across the world, uh, and throughout the movie, like they have troubles. Like Country C catches on to their plan because the prince in Country B is an idiot. He sends a military telegraph to yeah, to the princess, like a love letter or something, and that allows Country C to crack their encryption code, and they figure out the secret mission. Um, so, and Country C sends like armadas of planes and battleships to try and destroy this one plane. But this guy he's determined to get her there, and he does. But it was really enjoyable because the cast is so small. You only have really two characters, and so you get plenty of character interaction between the two of them. It's because they come from such different walks of life. I don't know. It was interesting to watch that happen, and you get some good dogfighting too.
That's always fun.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was pretty good. It felt like Giant Robo. It kind of felt like a chapter in a larger universe. And apparently, there's the author or the guy who wrote the movie. He has a light novel, or he had a light novel series going on that takes place in the same universe, but with different characters mostly. I haven't read that, but
Okay.
Yeah, that's pretty much it for me.
Okay. Well, there's a lot of things to get into, but we'll start with something that is a little bit light. So, the first thing was that, funny enough, Doraemon is actually coming to the U.S. via Disney XD. So, essentially, I think I forget which company that owns Doraemon, but they said, okay, let's go import it into Disney, and well, yeah, so that's why we have Doraemon.
Toei that owns Doraemon?
I think so. It's
I
Toei.
swear to God, it is.
Yeah, I think that was the major thing. So it was like Toei decided, hey, look, we want to bring them in, and they've been trying for I think years. It's just that now things clicked, you know.
That's cool. I wonder how long they're gonna go on for, because I mean, Doraemon is an extremely long series. I think it's probably like maybe the second or third longest anime in existence.
I think, yeah, it's one of the longest ones. Would you
It
say?
has close to 2,000 episodes.
Yeah, so it's the longest one. Then it's like One Piece, and then all the other animes.
Well, I think
Actually,
Saze-san.
Pokemon's at 800 plus now, so.
Yeah, I think Saze-san is up there too. But like, the thing is that it's like it's 26 episodes, and they're aiming for the more kid demographic. So there's gonna be edits. Yeah.
Yep, inevitable. And the funny thing about it is that since this is such an old stuff, that some of the things that were doable back then can't work as well in this era. So it's gonna be interesting to see how they adjust it for that.
Yeah, I wonder if it's actually going to be, if it's going to be like the whole 80s one, or if it's going to be like more towards the end of the series. Oh, actually, yeah, it looks like they're going to, what is it? Wow, like I was looking through some of the edits, and what is it? It looks like they are doing image edits for it. So and they're cleaning it up.
Oh God.
Yeah. So like they're doing like certain things like replacing money, replacing different things and stuff like that.
Well, I can understand that, like replacing yen with a dollar. That's a harmless change.
Yeah, but apparently there's just one thing about Dracula set that's weird. How they replace a first aid kit with the pizza. I don't know how.
That's definitely a for kids level edit right there.
It's Disney. It's Disney.
Oh, yeah,
they make money. They can edit whatever the hell they want. Nobody can argue.
No, of course.
It's like it's kind of like back in the old days where like they had Bugs Bunny, like all the like shotguns and like
Yeah, I find it funny that they'll like criticize certain shows for this, and it's like, yeah, by the way, Looney Tunes all this crap, so you're being hypocrites now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Almost, but I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. That, anyways.
Either way, it's even if it comes over edited, it's I still think it's kind of neat that they're doing it.
Yeah, I'm glad for them. At least they're gonna bring it over. even though it's gonna be like edited.
Yeah.
Oh well. If it gets enough attention, I'm sure people who will want to watch the original versions will figure it out and go, hey, let's check this out now.
Yeah, but like I said, it won't matter because Disney's a multinational corporation, so they can do just about whatever the heck they want to, except for Miyazaki movies and like Studio Ghibli, where apparently they're like, well, we will not touch a dang thing in that.
Yeah, they didn't they what was it? Because I remember these two early ones, and for the longest time I thought they were just different names for them, but it turns out it's two completely different movies.
For Ghibli?
Yeah, the early ones, really early ones. Like I think it was like Nazca and this other one, and I kept thinking, oh, this is just the Japanese version. No, it's like two movies or something. And
Yeah, it might be Nausicaa.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Nausicaa, when it first came over, was super heavily edited. Like, they basically changed it into a different movie.
Yeah, so and then there's another one which I think is called Laputa Castle in Clouds or something like that.
Yeah, Laputa.
Yeah, and then there's another one, and I think that one was the one I kept confusing with Nazca, so that might be it. I'm not sure though, but anyways, yeah. Also, is it pronounced Ghibli or Ghibli?
I have no idea. I say it with the G instead of
Yeah, I see what the
I usually say Ghibli, but
Ghibli. Anyways,
whatever, man. I'm still waiting for them to bring a Kiki's Delivery Service Blu-ray over. I'm waiting Disney. Because I know it's out there.
Yeah.
Every other country's gotten one. That show has been dubbed in like 13 different languages in like 720 and 1080p, or that movie, I should say. It's still there's no US Blu-ray. They're killing me. But
well, and I know how I feel whenever the US gets stuff, then Canada has to wait like an eternity before we get it.
yeah.
Even though we're next door to you guys, which is stupid. Anywho.
What's next?
Yeah, so I would normally talk about like adult shows up front, but there's only like one major thing that is crazy. Apparently Mike Tyson's getting his own animated show.
What?
Really?
Yes.
Oh no.
Yes. Like
what show are we talking about?
it's a TV special. It's called Mike Tyson Mysteries.
What?
Yeah.
Mike,
Yeah.
wait. I mean, I was thinking this would be a great opportunity for Nintendo to get like Mike Tyson's Punch Out or something like that, but what?
I know, right?
Of like, this is a boxer and he's getting a
Yeah.
what?
Yeah. Yeah. Like there's a couple of other I think
Anything.
Yeah.
What in the hell?
Yeah. It's Adult Swim. They can do whatever the heck they want. Like at this point, like am I gonna watch it? Yeah. Am I gonna probably like it? Most likely. So Tyson Mysteries. I feel like
Sounds like a fun time to me.
is he gonna have like a tiger in like his in his car and then like punch people after Phil Collins?
Yeah.
This will be interesting though. Yeah, so it's apparently he's taking his fights from the boxing ring to the streets and solving mysteries.
God.
So yeah, and it's aided by Mike Tyson's mystery team. I wonder where they got that from. That is so innovative.
And if I'm not mistaken, if the pictures anything go by, they have in some weird guy and a pigeon.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just gonna not even question it.
We're all gonna sit down, watch it. And
Aided
we're gonna
by the Mike Tyson mystery team, the ghost of Marquess of Queensbury, Mike's adopted Korean daughter, and a pigeon who was once a man.
Yeah, that sounds like I said. That sounds like a fun time.
Okay.
Oh God, I think there's a couple of other things. I think I think maybe Neon Joe Werewolf Hunter is also an animated series, but I'm not sure. I didn't see that much on there. Um, and then yeah, and that seems like it. It seems I would say it's smaller, but it's only because of I guess they have like a bunch of they have a bunch of specials coming out, and they kind of released a whole bunch of things in the towards the end of the towards early January up until March. So if you look at the returning series, that's where it becomes awesome. Like Black Dynamite's coming back, the Boondocks is coming back, which makes sense. It's airing right now. Aqua TV Loiter Squad, which is I know people have issues with it, but I like Loiter Squad. And then Robot Chicken, and like everything that Adult Swim has been known for the past 2 or 3 years is coming back. Which you know what is all cool with me. I don't think that they really need to do that much IP expansion, maybe except for next year because Boondocks is getting retired, so they may have to come up with something next year. But I mean, with the Aaron McGruder and the fact that Black Diamond's going to show up, that pretty much says that we're going to still maintain quality, you know?
In
Yeah.
regards to Boondocks, like having one last season, I would rather them do that than outright cancel it. Like just end it and then make sure that is ended. Like Futurama, for instance, where they managed to end it before they could like run it down type thing.
Yeah, but like a lot of people are complaining about the quality, and yet people don't tend to realize that season 3 was fairly weak compared to the first 2 seasons. And like I think that's my biggest complaint when people complain about this season. I'm like, you like compared to me who watched it and loved the Huey interaction between them, like season 3 was pretty much Riley and the Granddad show, and it was annoying because Huey got relegated to like a side character almost, which was horrible. At least with this season, I feel like Huey's more active now and is actually trying to convince him to not do stuff, But I think overall Adult Swim's doing well. And as much as people complain about how Community has been canceled, because who's the person that does Community also does Rick and Morty. So I was like, well, I mean, if he's doing Rick and Morty, I'm sorry, but something had to give, and if it had to be Community, well, sorry, Community. But yeah, there's a couple of other stuff. So Godzilla's coming out. Well, Godzilla's already out.
I saw it.
Oh, okay. So tell us about it.
Well,
I want to hear this.
just to get some background on me from this. I haven't really watched much of the whole franchise. Like, I think the one I saw first is what everyone dislikes. So, my first actual my first actual experience with Godzilla was from the '98 film, which at the time I didn't mind because it's my only experience of it. What else was to compare it to, honestly? So, of course, I saw other stuff here and there, and then I guess leading up to the final release of it, I decided to do some research on find out exactly what this one's going to be what exactly is going to be involved in it, and they did for this one. They did a fantastic job adapting the original concept into a modern situation. Very well done. They got the whole idea of what Godzilla is pretty much perfectly down. There's a lot of complaints about the fact that you don't see Godzilla often, but in a way, as one of the characters mentions, he's more or less just the order of nature. He's basically the power of order, making sure everything's not out of whack type thing.
Yeah.
When Mutos first show up, they're basically bringing unbalance to everything. So Godzilla's basically going to say, "Okay, guys, you're a problem for me for this nature. I'm going to have to take you out. Sorry." So, but the good thing is that when he does show up, they make it count. They really make it count, and he's just amazing to watch. Because I'm reading lots about what they were planning on doing with him. They based lots of the movements off of actual animals, and the Mutos themselves, they have this really interesting mix. On one hand, they look like something from Cloverfield. On the other hand, they look more like some kind of giant insects. and they even have a little bit of the alien mixed in there. They're really neat looking too. They kind of steal a show almost, but they're overall. I think that was one of the coolest things ever because they mentioned that they wanted the MUTOs, which stand for Massive Unknown Terrestrial Organisms. They wanted those guys to basically be brand new monsters. They didn't want to bring back previous Godzilla monsters. They wanted these guys to be brand new ones. So I thought that was a really nice decision. A few other little things that I was kind of iffy about, but I guess in the grand scheme of things, it all worked out in the end. One thing I thought was really neat was that they had kind of explained how like something that size could thrive. So they had the idea that these were creatures that basically fed off radiation, so like nuclear waste and all that kind of stuff, provided them with sustenance, I guess, which I guess makes sense. I mean, how else would you feed something that's like several stories tall size? What else was there? I like the idea that this is something I kept noticing when I was doing some other browsing, was that the idea that like everything the military, like 'cause the military was obviously trying to think, oh, this guy's a threat, obviously, because he's big and bulky and he's gonna destroy us. So I like the idea that when the military tried to intervene, they weren't doing anything to any of these guys. Like they were shooting stuff at him, they were throwing all this, and wasn't doing a thing to him, which is
So business as usual for the military in
yeah.
movies.
But the best part about this is that like when all the plans are done, they're like, okay, we're screwed. What's going to happen? And it's like, no, nature. Of course, the scientist is like, no, nature's got a way of doing things. Just let them fight. And that was by far one of the best lines in the movie. Is like, nope, you guys stand back. Godzilla's got this.
Nice. Sounds like I need to watch this movie.
Oh yeah, and one of the things that people did not like about the '98 movie was a lack of a certain ability Godzilla's been known for. Let's just say the fans completely freaked out in this one when it was actually shown. Wow! Even though I haven't seen much of it, like in the previous ones, when it was shown in this movie, like I don't know, the leading up to that moment was just like, oh shit, it's gonna happen. Like. The whole movie was basically a build-up for this last half hour, but it's kind of like the Avengers almost. I mean, honestly, that's the best way to compare it. Because think about it, most of the Avengers is basically building up a team to this whole fight that happens at the end of it, which makes sense. Another thing that kind of bothered me though was the fans' comparisons to Pacific Rim, which I don't completely blame them for, because yes, Pacific Rim had these giant kaizus that were attacking, but in Pacific Rim's defense, it's a mecha movie, not a monster movie. It's a mecha movie first and foremost. Godzilla's a monster movie. They're very different beasts, as I would put it. So I can understand why people would compare it to, because Pacific Rim has been out recently, so I get it, but that's the wrong genre for Pacific Rim. Pacific Rim's mecha. Godzilla's monster, very different. But yeah, I definitely want to see this thing again. And one thing I really want to point out, and this is the first time I think I can ever imagine even saying this, like a conventional cinema screen is too small for Godzilla. You need to see this thing in IMAX, which I'm probably going to eventually. But like I'm looking at this, I'm seeing some theaters looking at Godzilla, I'm going, this screen looks just too small for him. Like. To give it the size he deserves.
Yeah, that's
screen too really large enough for Godzilla
though. But
the 3D was all. I can't believe I'm saying this, but the 3D was, I think, somewhat better than Captain America 2. I feel like I don't know. Like I've been playing my 3DS so often and so long that like my eyes are very well conditioned to 3D, to the point where movies, when they're done in 3D, just don't feel the same. Like, I don't know, something about the way some of these 3D movies are coming out, they just don't look right. Like, I'm pretty sure How to Train Your Dragon 2 is going to look better because it's animated, and I find animated movies do much better in 3D because it's a lot easier to turn what wasn't already technically a 3D film into a 3D film, because it's just animated. All you have to do is throw it in a computer, make it 3D, and boom, it's done. Whereas when you're converting a standard film to 3D. It's a little bit different process. So I'm hoping Hatcher and Dragon 2 is gonna have the better 3D. It's just really weird when a small portable console can outdo 3D to giant cinemas.
Yeah. Although, if you shoot a live action like from the beginning with 3D in mind, it can look pretty good.
Yeah, I think the first Captain America was done that way, and that one had good 3D. I'll bet that one had very good 3D. So I get the feeling they're just getting really lazy now and just throwing it on as afterthought to make more money. But whatever.
So, yeah, certainly plenty of movies do that.
Yeah. But that's good because what was it? Jason DeMarco of Cartoon Network in a Toonami vein, he was talking about how like the capturing of like Godzilla, the whole entire essence of like how large Godzilla was really represented in the movie.
Oh yeah, like I think there's a scene where he's walking through like Hawaii, like, and he causes like a little tsunami just from like getting out of the water, and like I think you've seen this in the trailers where the guy's fire flares up and you see just how big this guy is. Like there's a couple other scenes that just give you just how absolutely massive this guy is, like because I remember reading this. This version is actually the largest version that has ever been made. He is the biggest one to date now.
Wow.
I was seeing some size charts, and he like it's really weird that I think like the thing like the newest American Godzilla just now trumps every other one, which is almost an honor in a way because I mean it gets rid of that nasty stigma we've had like over 10 years ago with the other guy. So I'm glad we got a new one to say this is our Godzilla. We're doing you guys justice. So don't worry, we got this.
Yeah, I'm gonna go see it tomorrow afternoon. I was supposed to see it today, but certain things prevented me from seeing it. So.
All right.
I'm just kind of hype buzz right now from it. I have to see it again soon.
Okay.
Alright, so what's next?
Yeah. Well, let's talk about one of the biggest news whatsoever. Viz acquired Sailor Moon. Like, yeah, like
Fast.
Let it's not just Sailor Moon Crystal, it's Sailor Moon the original, and they're gonna dub both of them.
Oh really?
They're gonna redub it. They're gonna keep everything as what it was, which is Jesus. That's ridiculous. Apparently, it was Toei that actually came and approached them for it. I think, at least that's what I was reading from the exclusive interview with Anime News Network, which was just shocking in general. Like,
which series are they bringing over? Because there's a bunch of them.
the original animation one, the one that got edited by Deke, and the new one.
Oh shit! So like, we're basically getting the whole thing remastered now.
Yeah, everything remastered, and they're gonna start putting the subtitle version of it on Hulu starting. I think this upcoming Monday, so May 19th. So yeah, and they're uploading 2 every single week. So yeah,
I'm anxious to see how this looks.
It's shocking. Like, you know, people don't tend to understand this, and it's our fault too. Like, I'll admit, it's my fault for not necessarily talking about like how Viz operates, but Viz is kind of like indirectly kind of like Dr. Dre in the sense that you may not know of him, and you think, oh no, they're not anything, and then next thing you know, he drops the next biggest thing, and you're like, oh crap, I can't believe we forgot about Dre, which. Yeah, after everything that has nothing to do with anime has kind of conspired, you know. Yeah, the thing is similar. Like, this is what Viz will do. Viz will look for IPs. They'll be very, very selective with their IPs, and then they'll just get blockbuster after blockbuster. I mean, they have Death Note, Naruto, Inuyasha, Ramna, Tiger Bunny, and Bleach. and as well as like Excel World and a couple of other things.
And
Like,
I'm pretty sure Viz also handles the DVD releases for Pokemon also.
yeah, they also have the DVD releases for Pokemon.
So,
Like, yeah, think about that. That's just crazy. Like, you don't realize just how powerful Viz is because they don't acquire everything on site, right?
like Funimation does.
Or Sentai Filmworks. Like, those two acquire like everything. And so it's very interesting that they just come in and say, "Oh, by the way, we acquired all of Sailor Moon. Peace out." And that's how they won Anime Central. And
Wow.
yep, they don't even need to do like literally all they have to do now at a convention say, "Oh yeah, we released Sailor Moon," and everybody would just start applauding for that whole entire convention time.
This is almost kind of like when, like back in April when Nintendo's like, "Oh yeah, we're in trouble. We'll just throw this 40 minutes Super Smash Brothers video that has nothing but awesome stuff that we're saying is gonna be in the game," and then it finished off with probably one of the most hypest trailers I've seen in a while. Like,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah, and then it's true. Like I think this is pretty much set for like arguably life now. But it's interesting that they're gonna go back and redub it. I would have banked on them keeping the Deke dub, or they would have just went sub. But the fact that they're gonna go back and redub it is wow. That is a massive undertaking.
Now, if they also
it's gonna be a
manage to
massive
grab the
project.
original voice actors, that will be even cooler. I don't think it will, but it would be really cool to get at least a couple of the original voice actors, just because.
The question is that do they want to grab people from Canada or from LA? That's the thing. But what were you saying? What were you saying there, Solo Wing?
I was just saying that's a massive project because it wasn't just like certain ones. They licensed the whole franchise, and that's over 200 episodes. Are they planning to dub all of that?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of doing. Which, I mean, it makes sense. They've dubbed Bleach, they've dubbed Naruto. They know how to do long project dubs, right? So it's completely they know what to do. Like I think if anything, the biggest indirect backslap though is that it's on Hulu instead of Crunchyroll. So like,
Oh yeah, it's gonna be hard for Canadians because we don't have Hulu,
yeah, but like.
which is ironic considering we're the guys who actually started in the first place.
Yeah, I think it's not only that, but I think the biggest issue was the fact that like if you think about like where you get your anime, it's like it's Crunchyroll or Hulu, and now that they went from Neon Alley and switched it to basically a Hulu distribution channel area, they now get to control a lot more of the revenue, and because they're getting Sailor Moon, it's a biggest coup. Like, I think the only other place they would have been able to do just as much as damage is if they would have done Netflix. If they would have said, "Oh, by the way, we're putting Sailor Moon on Netflix," I would have said, "Well, time for me to go subscribe to Netflix. Be right back."
This is
General, what this reminds me of is kind of so the Deke dub would kind of be like the original Fullmetal Alchemist. This is kind of like Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, in which it's more related to the manga, which I'm assuming this series is basically. It's a remake of the manga, which I'm assuming it is.
Yeah, Crystal's his remake, I think, of the manga. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, this is a momentous occasion.
I don't even care about this, but I'm just amazed at the fact that I'm amazed recently that like localization's happening a lot sooner than it used to. I remember like times we had to wait like a full year just to get something. Now it's like happening within months of each other.
And at a much larger scale.
No kidding. Like
Yeah.
Like I remember they just confirmed like the new Pokemon Ruby Sapphire remakes, which and then notification worldwide. And it's like, oh, we're doing this now. Okay, cool.
Yeah, I might have to pick up a few of those disc sets.
Like I have an announcement to make. I'm now looking for a job. If anybody wants to like hire me because I need to pay for my card captors DVD, the Blu-ray set, and I need to go pay for this. So
I saw that, and it's funny because what was it? I remember we saw that the price is $240 something for this thing.
yeah.
Shit.
It's a premium set, though.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's for the premium set. Like, I think the bare bones of it is more on the 100 and something. But you have to think about it. It's 70 episodes, so yeah, that makes about right where you'd want it to be. Honestly, yeah, like honestly, compared to what is it? Kind of like the other premium sets, like from Aniplex, it's about right there. It's like, yeah, I could see myself purchasing that. Now, if you tell me 26 episodes for like $500, then no way, man. You can get out of here.
Like
one thing
Yeah.
One thing I want to know about this is this just the original version subbed, or is did they dub it in any way?
They're redubbing the original, I think.
What for?
Really?
What for Card Captors?
Oh no, I don't know. I don't know about Card Captors.
I just want to make sure that I can get this in English.
Oh, I think Card Captors is, well, we know Sailor Moon is redubbing, but Card Captors, I think they're gonna retain it to mono, the mono dub, which means it's probably from the the Malaysian or that type of dub, but all the subs will be intact. So
with the mono dub.
Yeah, like there was a dub, there was the American dub, and then there was like
the Nelvana dub.
Yeah, the Nirvana dub was the English dub, but like there's also
that was the Canadian one. Everyone thinks it's for kids, but I'm like, no, it was early Nirvana. They were just as bad. Don't blame 4Kids for everything.
Yeah. People forget the fact that they also did Beyblade too, but you know,
really?
Yeah, Nirvana,
Actually, that. Wow.
Yeah. So like, but yeah.
How do we explain why Canada got why we got the recent Metal Fusion first? Okay, that explains a lot.
Yep. So like, there was that, and there's like a Malaysian one for Car Captors, which I don't know. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm one of those people that didn't mind the Deke dub, not because it was bad, but because I think the voice acting was good. I think it's bad. I think that's the one thing people tend to miss about like all the '90s shows. Like the dub was actually pretty good. Like the original Sailor Moon cast was good. The scripting was crap. And that's what you notice throughout like the whole entire time. That's why when people complain about dubbing, I'm like, you need to look at something from the whole entire thing. You have to look at the scripting itself and then the dub, because if the script is completely crap or is like literal translation and it's like not as good, then you're gonna be completely annoyed and it's not gonna be like, you know, it won't be as good. That's why like when people do things like localization issues and stuff like that, like the whole Doraemon edits and stuff like that, I'm like, as much as it may not make sense, you know, if the localization holds, it holds. You know, it's just that you have to get rid of the whole crap that, oh my god, the voice acting sucks, because no, the actual voice acting with what they were working with was good. The actual script that they said, yo, go edit all these things, were like, Jesus, man, come on now.
Like the one thing that sticks to me the most about the English dub for Card Captors is Caro's voice. When I heard him in the redubbed movie, I believe it's the second one, I heard him, I'm like, oh god, why does he sound like this? Because his original English voice was Matt Hale, and he has a typical voice, but he did a good job with that character. It made it work. It made it sound like he was a legitimate like helper character, which he is technically. And then in the other dub, he sounds like a freaking kid. I'm like, oh come on, what the hell?
Yeah, I think overall it's good that they're gonna go back and redub it. I understand why they're gonna retain the Japanese names for the Sailor Moon one, but like I'm not gonna
throw people off.
It'll throw people off.
Oh.
I think it'll throw people off, but like also like I wasn't. I did not mind the name edits. You know, like the name edits really don't like affect me. But then again, this is like Kariel said on his nostalgia glasses saying, "Yo, the '90s were so awesome."
Yeah, I don't remember having any issues with the names in the dub. But
yeah,
it's funny that like a bunch of '90s shows that I do enjoy. I've gone back to see some of them. Some of them have held up. Some of them I just go, oh god, why did I watch this?
Yeah, kind of like with me and VR Troopers. That's something that. But like, I think it's just good that we're finally gonna get Sailor Moon in the U.S. after like a 10-year hiatus, and Viz pretty much now has made themselves relevant again. Well, I wouldn't say make themselves relevant again, but they've now essentially said, "Yo, we're here, and we still dub stuff. So we now are going to command your want, like we did with Death Note."
You sure it's 10 years, by the way?
Yeah. Or I think it was around. It's more than that, but I think that's when the license expired. I don't know.
Okay.
I just know that it's like a long. It's over a decade. Like that. That's where I put it at. So like now, what is it? Yeah, Sailor Moon comes back to the U.S. Viz gets their money from everybody, and everybody now loses their wallets and say, well, they start reporting them. They start reporting their their purchases to the credit card companies because they said that they accidentally bought something that they didn't, and they still keep the item.
Yeah, this franchise has been getting a pretty decent amount of activity lately. It seems like, because Sailor Stars this is the first time apparently that we're gonna get it in the U.S.
That's kind of cool, actually.
And they have a new Japanese series starting next month or the month afterwards.
Shit.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah.
If there's one thing one thing I kind of, I know it probably won't happen. If there's one thing I kind of do want them to do, if we're doing it in English, is to bring back Stephanie Beard for one of the minorish characters, Mini Moon, I believe it was. I forget, but she was like the younger, I guess, version of Sailor Moon. I don't remember what it was.
Yeah, I know.
But she for those who don't know who she is, she used to be one of the hosts on the Zone for White TV. Her name, the host name was Sugar, and she used to do the voice of that character. Her real name is Stephanie Beard, and the last thing I remember her being in was voicing as one character from Daiga Defenders, which I believe I did a plight with that show. And yeah, I don't think it'll happen that they'll bring her back for that, but if they do, that'd be a nice nod to the original dub for that.
I agree. Like I would like for them to go and get the voice actors from the original series, because at the end of the day, the original set before they I think the second person that was Sailor Moon before they went into after R, but that cast was good. That cast, in my opinion, was very solid. They did their work really, really well. They actually did embody all of the characters. The only problem was that, well, scripting and doing stuff. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully Viz will say, yo, we're bringing back all the characters that are voice acting. We're just giving them a new script. Because at the end of the day, that's literally all they need, a new script.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Even if I won't actually watch it, I'll just kind of check out some clips here and there. But for those who would like this stuff, that's awesome.
I agree.
Yeah. So, I'm looking at your email. You mentioned something about this one series that you just did a shake my head at called Master of Martial Arts. What is this?
Oh God!
Is it that time?
Yes, it's that time. I'm having you know how yes, I'm having horrible flashbacks. You have no idea.
I think Carlson is suffering from PTSD.
So,
yeah.
Right on this show.
He mentioned this on the last play before I went to mine, and I thought, okay, what is this? So I'm thinking, you know what? I'm just gonna Wikipedia this just to find out what this is. I look at some clip pics and I'm like, okay, it doesn't look too bad. Then I said, okay, let's just watch the intro. I'm watching this going, what the heck? And I posted on the play, and it was the best way to sum this thing up was it was a drunken night at the karaoke bar, is what the singer sounded like. The intro. And the opening used a ton of recycled animation clips, and I'm like, the worst part was it was obvious. You could tell where the animation clips were reused. I'm like, wow, this is bad. It was just the opening.
Oh God. Yes. It was. To say that it was horrible. Oh God. It was. Well, you know what, Nick? Go ahead and like introduce us to the world of masters of martial arts.
All right, where to begin? So I don't even know what made me suggest this in the first place anymore. But I I first watched this a pretty long time ago on Netflix. Um, well, I was kind of surprised that it's not there anymore, but I was
Now we know why.
yeah, I had a evening to kill, so I was looking through stuff to watch on Netflix as I occasionally do, and I happened upon this thing that I had never even heard of before, and I like to think that I know a decent bit about anime, but this show I had never seen or heard of before, so I figured like it surprised me. I'll just watch it and see how it pans out. And the other thing was that it was short, so I figured I could just watch it in one evening. So, man, after the end, I wasn't entirely. I was kind of just sitting there blinking, like what happened? But so Master of Martial Arts, um, Zombie on the forums, he made what I would call a pretty apt comparison to Iki Tosen. Um, it's a tournament style anime where you have these girls that are fighting in a tournament to get this ultimate prize that lets them get whatever they want. Kind of like Queen's Blade as well. I didn't realize there's this subgenre that's more developed than I had realized. Of girls fighting until their clothes fall off. But
Hey,
Master of
let's
Martial
look
Arts, yeah. But Master of Martial Arts it's about this girl named, and you guys might have to help me out because I didn't get to rewatch the first episode, but
I'll blame you.
it's about this girl named Aya
Let's
and
get
her
Yep.
yeah, and her best friend's Natsume, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And one day they meet this girl named Miko, and I want to say she was like lonely or something.
Yeah, yeah. She was. They beat her when they saw her fighting against another woman who looked like a pilot. Like,
Right.
yeah, like, and by the way, I have to give props to Funimation for making like all those pilot references in that series. But yeah, and she was fighting for the martial heart because she wanted friends.
Yeah.
Okay.
They decided, like, Aya and Natsume, they're like, well, how about we simplify this and we'll just be your friend? And Miko's so happy, um, but she explains to them this tournament that she's involved with called the Martial Arts Tournament, and there's all these girls that are fighting to get that are fighting to win this tournament so that they can win the martial heart, and if they win the martial heart, I think like any wish that they have is granted or something, like any other tournament.
Yeah, yeah.
And so Aya happens to be a pretty decent martial artist herself, so she's like, "Well, I'll just fight this tournament for you."
Yeah, yeah. I mean, well, like she gets a message that says, "Oh, because like you already released Miko, now you're gonna fight for it." But like the thing is that which I think Natsume like aptly says that. Whoa! I didn't know you were a fighter for like martial art thing. And it's like, yeah, I didn't know either. And it's like, thank you for pointing that out. That like, why the heck didn't you say anything sooner? Which is true. Like she didn't say. Yeah. But go,
I might actually just watch it just to see if it's better or worse than Blaze Blue Alter Memory because
oh god, oh god. At least Blaze Blue can recognize stuff as a series. Oh god. Anyway, yeah. Just.
So, does anything? Well, actually, at this point we should probably say we're gonna spoil the crap out of this.
Yeah, yeah. We're spoiling this to protect you from what's going.
just like I did a few podcasts ago regarding Alter Memory. We're doing this for your own good. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're not missing anything. So anything meaningful happen between 1 and 5, or should we just skip to 5?
We might as well at least go through the first like 4 episodes. So of
All right.
course Aya fights and fights while trying to look for Miko. Like at one point when she's looking for Miko, she realizes that like all of a sudden all of her stuff is gone, everything is gone, and like it's as if she doesn't exist. And so she kind of like you see the interaction between her and her Aya and her mom, where the mom's like, "Oh, come talk to me. I want you to be a good student and stuff like that." And you find out that what is it? What is it? That like the mother is like concerned about her, but like Aya's kind of dismissive of everything, and so then you start seeing fighting from like one person for another. So one person comes in, starts fighting Aya. She takes her down. She takes out her teacher. She takes down a bunch of sisters that were trying to get her to team up with an alliance. She takes down like an idol. She takes down like a person in I don't know, but she just starts fighting everybody, beating the living crap out of people with this ridiculous smirk that's just over the top.
Yeah, and like some of these characters are like ridiculous. Like there's one of the girls like a mechanic, right? She like who happens to know like crazy martial arts. And then like you said, she fights 3 sisters who I guess 3-on-1 is okay in this tournament.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. I mean,
sisters are like dressed up as maids for some reason.
yeah, like the teacher that she was fighting was a chemistry teacher, and her equipment was nothing but like using chemistry techniques to boost her stuff up, quote unquote.
The hell?
Yeah, like no, that's not the weirder part. The weirder part is that they said, "Oh, all the gear that you would need to fight this tournament is what we're gonna give you from Miko, right?" Guess what? She never uses the equipment at all, Like it's just like, yo, here's an item here, go use it, and it's like,
Sounds like someone tried to adapt a very bad fighting game or something.
oh god, it just.
I wouldn't even be surprised.
Yeah, like she fights sisters, and like she at one point, Aya actually with one of the sisters let the sister crash into the water with a driving car, okay? And freaking the heck out, the 2 sisters actually jump into the water trying to save her sister from a thing. And I think the car also explodes or something like that. And it's like, that doesn't make any sense at all. Like, and yeah, like if you wonder why I'm struggling to describe this, like unlike with some of the other things where I describe because I don't necessarily have like notes proper, this is something like even with notes I would have just collapsed.
Yeah, it's a real mess. But
Okay, now let's get to episode 5, which is, oh god, this is the point where like I just break down.
yeah. So the psychic lady, she's like her last opponent, right?
Yeah.
So she's it's a tournament, and so she's beaten all her opponents thus far, and she's at her final one, and it's this Chinese-looking lady who's also a psychic. She's got this crystal ball, and she's kind of getting her butt kicked. Aya is, and then like as right before this her opponent decides to like finish her off, she starts like getting really psychological on her. Like she pulls out her crystal ball and she's like, "You're a really bad person." And she's like, I can see into your heart. Remember how you beat those sisters by manipulating their sisterly affections for each other? Or like
Oh god.
how you
So she's guilt tripping her basically.
yeah, or like how you beat your own teacher who was just looking for her father. And she really like Cobalt said, she really like guilt trips her. But that backfires. Because it turns out she was right, apparently, that Aya is a horrible, horrible person, and she like kind of cracks and beats the crap out of this lady. Like they cut away for a bit, and then when the scene resumes, like there's just blood everywhere, and Aya's still punching her in the face. And
Yeah, like she just and then apparently something that's been I don't know if it's a theme or anything like that, but like there's been like some sort of darkness in Aya that all of a sudden just cracks and she just goes completely demon on her and beats her to death.
Oh goody, so they copy Tekken. Lovely.
yeah, it was. I wasn't quite aware that you could end up with a puddle of blood that large from hitting them with your bare hands, but that's what happens.
I don't even think Mayweather or Pacquiao could do that. I mean, you could kill them for sure, but
This is anime. This is where you can cut someone in the arm and it gushes blood, even though there's no actual major arteries there.
But wait, it gets better.
Oh, it does. It gets so much better. So she fights. She's fighting this opponent, and she beats her. And I guess she was fighting her on top of. Is there a specific reason why they were on top of that specific building?
I have no idea.
All right. Well, whatever. Just go on then.
Yeah.
Yep.
So after she beats this opponent, she goes downstairs or something, and who's waiting for her? It's Miko, who's been gone this whole time. And Miko's she turns the lights on because it was really dark inside the building, and inside the building is all her previous opponents who she beat, and they're like catatonic. Like something horrible's been done to them. Like Miko mentions that they've had their voice cords cut, and like some of them are like bound, and there's some of them are drooling, like or something.
It's like if you watch any of those like TV shows or like stuff that like shows like how I don't know I don't remember it, but like
Those got dark fast.
Dark? Oh my god, that's not even the half of it. Like this is like if I remember right, if I remember from like this one thing, but it's from like it's like basically broken as if like it's from a hentai title. Like that's how bad it is. It's like they're mentally broken and like fetish size. It's horrible.
Yeah.
Oh
Boy,
god.
how do we want to begin explaining where it goes from there? Because I'm still searching. I'm not sure how I want to approach this.
I don't know either. I'll try explaining at least a little bit of part of it, and then you can jump in with this. So, like, Miko comes in and says, "Look what you did to all these opponents. You broke them, but it's good because they were all having crappy lives anyway." And it's like, I don't even know.
She's like, I was like, what have you done to these people? And Miko was like, what have you done to them? Like these, and I was like, I don't know. And, not quite quoting, but Miko, she uses this line of reasoning where she's like, these women they're all losers. They tried to tried to get what they wanted through this martial arts tournament, and they lost. So this is what happens to them. They're losers. So deal with it, basically.
Yeah. They're mentally broken and completely like demoralized, and it's your fault because they lost a tournament that like. Wait, what? Yeah, yeah. This is where things get even more messed up. So then, like, all of a sudden, this person that looks like a girl that I has been pining for, I forget what his name is. I think it's like Miyuki or something like that.
It's Haruki, I think.
Haruki. Like, he comes in and says, this guy that looks just like him says, "Oh, look at me! I now want Aya as the girl that I want instead of like the other broken women that you're gonna go. Oh wait, by the way, the women that are like mentally broken, they're going to be shipped up as slaves. Yeah. And
what they didn't mention is with whoever organized the tournament. What they didn't mention is that if you lose, you're captured and
if you guys want, I can
and then you're sold as a slave to some dude.
If you guys want, I can just read what it says on the Wikipedia entry for the final episode if you want.
Oh god. It doesn't matter. Even if you look it up on Wikipedia, it doesn't make any sense. So and then all of a sudden, apparently, like the guy that she's pined over, like one of the persons about to buy the girl is like, now I want Aya because I think that she's like attractive, which doesn't.
Well, we should mention Haruki is Natsume's brother, who I guess who I guess Aya's kind of had like a little crush on.
Yeah.
And so he appears out of nowhere, like hinting that he's the mastermind behind it all. But then he gets shot by the real
Well,
Haruki. Oh
yeah, yeah.
no!
That's the best way to put it. And it's like, and the thing is that apparently the reason why the guy got plastic surgery to get his face just like the real Haruki was because of how Aya pied over her. But like, here's the thing: how in the hell could you get like plastic surgery and look fine in that short amount of time? Like, I don't even know. Like, if this tournament was happening like every single like month, sure, the argument could be made. But like, no, it looked like it took over like a week. You know?
So, by the looks of it, the first four episodes are like, oh, it's just a silly, simple tournament. The episode, nothing in the slightest is what it seems like.
Yeah, episode 5 has the largest synopsis of them all.
Yes.
Yeah.
I get to like, okay, I missed to point this out. Like, I get to a halfway part, and then the rest of it just seems like.
Yeah.
You know how in some games where like, you go through most of the story, it seems pretty straightforward. Then you get to the last chunk of it, and it's just massive exposition explaining what was really going on.
That's actually what happens. It's like for the
damn it.
that
They take every possible fighting game trope. It said, let's make a show out of this, strip all of its little things, and just have the ending be this massively convoluted plot that should have actually been the underlying thing the whole time somehow.
exactly. No, and that's what happens because then the real Haruki shoots the other guy, kills him, and then they go into exposition land.
At this point, Natsume appears as well. So we realize that Natsume, Aya's best friend, who she was posing as her best friend, and also Miko, and also Natsume's brother, are the real masterminds behind this whole thing. Or are they?
Exactly.
Let's see. They shoot Aya twice, but before they can further mutilate or kill her, explosives go off throughout the entire the building, and it catches on fire. Suzuko appears having self-explosives and tells everyone that they're caught in a web of vengeance. Aya's parents started the martial arts tournament.
And we should mention that Suzuko, Aya's mother, she's in a wrestling costume for some reason.
Randomly.
Like she comes in, she infiltrates the building that this is all happening in. She beats up all the guards and sets explosives and such. And then, noticeably, she appears after Aya's been shot twice.
Exactly.
So she's a little late, but we'll give her credit for appearing.
But no, that's not the thing that gets to me. It's like, what is it? Natsume, Miko, and Haruki go on this whole entire exposition about how they're gonna try to kill her because her mom did all these bad things to their mom because their father. Okay. Aya's father did all these bad things to Aya's mom. And, the thing is that Aya's father's, dead now. But, Aya's father did all these bad things to Natsume Haruki's, mother. And then, the mother of Aya, Suzuko, also did all these bad things.
So, basically, her mother is completely messed up.
Well, so here's... Most of this seems to revolve around the father. So Aya's father, as Aya understands it, he died 15 years ago in a car accident or something. But what she didn't know was that her father was leading a double life. For her, he was this nice guy. He was a sincere father and such. But he was cheating on her mother with this other woman. And with this other woman, who he was a horrible, horrible husband and a horrible father. He had a short temper, and he apparently hated women, so he'd beat his wife all the time. And this other woman was Natsume's mother, Aya's best friend. Wait, was it Natsume's mother or Miko's? Whatever.
No, Natsume's mother.
Okay. And so, eventually, Aya's father tries to kill Natsume's mother, and it ends up in a double kill. He kills her, and then I guess somehow she manages to kill him too to protect Natsume. And this all happens, I guess, right in front of Natsume's eyes, so she'll never forget this. And she hates the father, and she hates the mother because she hates Aya's mother, I should say, because um, there was another reason. Her mother was also, I guess, forced to participate in the tournament.
Yeah,
Um,
Miko's mom also does it because apparently the parents create the convoluted thing called like the whole master's martial art thing they convoluted there. They made up the whole entire thing to get at them, and then like then at the whole entire exposition, like the mom shows up, and then pretty much
Aya's
go
mom, we should say.
Aya's mom comes up, and then pretty much kills like all of them.
Well, does she kill them though? That's the thing.
Yeah,
Like
Dun,
she does this weird like it sounds like her neck is breaking, or like she does this technique where she grabs them by the neck, and then you hear this like popping sound, and then they fall down crumpled.
yeah.
I mean, you could argue that she snapped their neck right then and there, but like I've seen other anime where they use that exact same sound effect, and it's just like knocking them out. But
But
I
like,
don't know.
but like, I don't care how the heck you can knock out like you know how like they do if you look at the whole entire series up to that point like they actually get destroyed, okay, and then the mom comes in and just like twists their necks and that's it. It's like
Yeah, so Aya's mother appears on the scene, and she's
Finished,
a
though.
beast because at this point Natsume and Miko they both have guns, and as soon as Aya's mother appears on the scene, she's like, oh well, you're the one we really want to kill. We'll just blast you. And Aya's mother, she dodges the bullets and goes straight for she goes for Miko first and like breaks her hand in with one motion and then snaps her neck. And Natsume was like, holy crap! And Aya's mother goes for her next and takes her out in one motion as well, and then that's it for them. They're
yeah,
out.
and Haruki like dies somewhere in between those two, but
Yeah,
like
Haruki, he goes for her first, and
oh yeah.
he just gets messed up.
Oh
He's like,
god.
"Don't you talk about my mother that way," and he gets owned.
Like, let's kill off all the characters in like 3 seconds flat.
No, that's what happens. And then what happens is that all of a sudden, Aya's mom like bandages her up and says, "Okay, get the hell out of here. I'm gonna go atone for your sins, right?" And at that point, the one thing about the tournament is that after you defeat each opponent, you collect certain parts of the martial art, and when you collect all of it, that's when you get your wish, right?
Oh God.
Yeah. Guess what? Guess what? At the end, the mother looks at it and says, "Oh wait, we still didn't complete the martial art." And it's like, wait a minute, what? So you after all this death, the thing is still not complete, right? So then you go into like a cameo of the mother that like was beaten up and pretty much stripped of her vocal cords, like going to stabbing Aya, right? And then, well, before all of us said something, Aya escapes the building blows up, and the mother dies along with them. Apparently,
And it's worth mentioning. There's two problems with this. So first of all, we don't know why the mother had to die.
yeah.
She sets all this C4 in the building, and then she blows it, and then she just kind of stands there as the building's going down, like, oh, I guess it's time for me to sacrifice myself. And then the other thing is, so we have to remember that Aya has been shot twice. She got shot in the
Yeah.
shoulder once, and she got shot in the leg once in the thigh. They were at the top floor of the building, and when they cut away, she's walking out of the street, like literally a second later. And she's limping too. We don't know how she got down there so quick. She did. I don't know. Maybe she jumped out the window.
Or elevator.
At this point, that's the least surprising thing at this point. That's the least bizarre thing.
And right before she activates the C4, Aya's mother does. She says, "Well, like, it's not actually anybody's fault. It's actually you guys' grandfather's fault."
yeah.
And they don't explain any of that. They say they're the real villain. It's not the father's fault. It's not anybody's fault. It's just the grandfather. Then the grandfather. We don't know who his name is. None of that.
Probably dead too. We know.
Yeah, that's for part 2, obviously.
God.
But
Yeah, we have to make
which doesn't
it.
exist.
Just to work it.
and then after all this happens, the mother of Natsume was like stabbing the picture of Aya, right, and stabbing her, and then she hears a doorbell, and then she goes up and she opens the door, and then her face goes up in horror, and then it cuts to black, like Tony, like The Sopranos.
Oh,
Yeah.
I've heard of that joke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a cliffhanger for a series that has no continuation. But yeah, it was pretty good.
Okay.
Oh god.
Pretty good. I'll imagine. It's like.
Oh my god. I remember watching this, and this is literally my reaction when I saw it.
Oh god.
I was like, make this train stop. Like I just was like, I was on my face to just say, make this train stop. I have to get off this train. And then it's like, and I just said, no, I have to still watch to the end. And it was just ridiculous. Like, I don't know, man. I just don't know.
What if it's one of those things where it's like, after I've seen this, anything else is better. I'll take anything else. Just don't give me this anymore.
Exactly.
They're not. It's funny because they're not done with you until the credits roll. They've got twists for you through the very end. Even if some of them make no sense, and some of them are completely unresolved, but they're still twists.
So somebody decided, hey, let's take Shyamalan and just go complete bonkers with it.
Yeah. Actually, that's an insult to M. Night Shyamalan. That's the worst part. Like, that's an insult to him. I think even he would have said, okay, that's too much twist, man. I'm done. No.
Stop breaking my wrist. You're twisting it too much.
Exactly.
Yeah. Especially when someone does get a wrist snap.
Let's go some more better territory. I mentioned a Pixar versus DreamWorks thing, I guess. Like the different studios.
Okay. I might have missed this, but I'm down.
Alright. So the reason why I thought about this is because, well, to be fair, the last thing I haven't really seen Monsters University, but to be fair, Pixar I feel has been like I noticed that I've been actually enjoying more of DreamWorks and Sony and Illumination, who is responsible for the Despicable Me 1 and 2. And I just find it interesting how DreamWorks, who used to be this terrible company people used to hate, has done some really good movies that keep surprising me. Like, I think, oh, this is going to be a crap movie. I'll watch it. Oh, wow, that was actually pretty good.
Okay.
And I think it all started with How to Train Your Dragon.
Yeah.
That's where I think it all started. Because I remember being interested in it, and then I remember so back when I was my first couple years of my other college, my professors mentioned it, so I thought, I'll go check this out, and then I ended up really enjoying it, and then I ended up seeing it in theaters a couple times, then buying it in Blu-ray, and it's a really good movie, and then I ended up seeing other stuff like Kung Fu Panda was really well done. And then they started doing what was it, Megamind, which came out the same year as Despicable Me, was actually pretty good, all things considered. And
I enjoyed Megamind.
Yeah, it was a really neat twist to what you expected, and it was surprisingly well put together. And what was also they also Rise of the Guardians, that was really good. Like the character Jack Frost, who usually is either seen as mischievous or just downright bad, was the main character, and usually he's never the main character. He's always usually a side character, and it's really neat to see his origins.
Mm-hmm.
And that was kind of neat to see that one. You also get to see a Russian Santa. That was actually pretty cool. The Tooth Fairy and the Easter Bunny, all that, and you also had a different variation on the Boogeyman, Pitch as they call him. So that was a really good movie by DreamWorks, which was also kind of surprising. But the good thing, what I noticed is that it was done by the same studio that did How to Train Your Dragon. So I get the feeling that DreamWorks is, after the success of that movie, they're like, oh, these guys are really good. We should give them more stuff to work on. So they start putting all these pretty damn good movies. I mean, I think they've had maybe a couple of duds in the last couple of years, but so far they've had some really solid hits. And it's almost made me feel sorry for Pixar, because Pixar, the last couple things they've had were Cars 2 and Brave. and those were getting really polarized reviews, which I'm really feeling sorry for them.
Well, to be fair, Cars is nothing but a cash grab, okay?
Yes, I'll admit that
Brave,
much.
yeah. But like Brave got some very polarizable
Like,
views.
See, like I enjoyed Brave.
It was
It was amazingly well animated for sure. But I agree. It's probably one of their weaker movies.
I think the thing is this. I think for a lot of people, like for the animation, for the longest time, Pixar's quality has always been the best. It's been like
Exactly.
everybody like. And I think afterwards, when people started realizing just what was the Pixar formula, which is like making good movies at first and then building out from there with the animation and casting, it started getting better and better. It's not the fact that Pixar's quality has dropped; it's that everybody
no,
else.
of course not. I
Yeah,
still
it's
like them.
yeah. The thing is that everybody else has upped their game. That's the
Oh
thing.
yeah.
Well, maybe it's dropped a little bit.
Like Despicable Me, I wasn't too sure what to expect from that one. I was really amazed with it. Like I saw that one in 3D. That was even 3D was great, but just the overall plot of it was actually really well done. Like, think about it. Most people who like, I'm not sure if this is a thing in the States or something, but like people seem to like villains a lot, and yet hear from a villain, like a story about a villain who ends up going good. That was kind of neat. Although he still retains some of that villainous side to him, but he's still a good guy. And in the sequel, I guess they see, he's a villain, but he's now turned over. Yet he still has that sort of side to him. Maybe we can use this to our advantage to find out about this new villain. You know, get him in touch with the villains because he's still technically kind of one, so we can use that. That was a neat plot idea for the sequel, I thought. I mean, what better way to find out about a villain than to talk to an ex-villain?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
So are we keeping this strictly between DreamWorks and Pixar?
I think, to be fair, we should include other well-done animated movies, I guess. It's up to you.
I think the only quality...
There's also Disney and Ghibli.
Yes.
Those are the other two.
And Blue Sky from Fox.
Wait, Fox? What did they do?
Yeah, Blue Sky is under Fox.
Oh, right, Blue Sky.
They do Rio and like...
Ice Age, I believe.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Rio 2 yet, but I've heard some iffy things about it.
Rio's... I just never found interest in it.
First one was okay. First one I thought was okay. I haven't seen the second one, though. I'm actually surprised they made a second one, because I didn't really think there was really any reason to make one, to be honest. The plot seemed simple enough. This one's like, oh, well, that was unexpected.
Yeah. Who did Happy Feet, now I think about it?
Oh, yeah. Wait, what the heck made Happy Feet?
But like, yeah, I just think that overall studios are just upping their quality. I think that's the best, and that's a good thing. Like, as much as I'm not a fan of like I don't mind Frozen, but I don't think it's like the best thing since Ice Cream, you know. But
it was
it's not my favorite Disney movie either, but I thought it was pretty enjoyable.
Yeah.
Like I even like Tangled more.
I'm not a big fan of musicals in general of Disney, so it's kind of aback at first when I found out about that. But I thought, for all intents and purposes, it was very well done. I liked the just the look of it, because as someone who's into 3D stuff, the fact that particle effects are freaking hard to do. They did a really damn good job with like the technical side of the movie, and it actually presented some like a decent storyline that isn't completely a Disney cutout, which I thought was nice, because that's something that I'm not too keen on Disney with. But like just those things alone made me enjoy it. Even if it wasn't the greatest thing, it was still enjoyable.
Yeah. It's just I just think that like overall, it's a good thing. I think the fact that now Disney knows that they can do something like a Frozen and get like a sincere hit off of it means that you're going to see a lot more like I won't say like Frozen stuff, but like you're going to see a lot more quality from it. And I think what they will do is that they will let Pixar take years off. I think that's the best thing. Like Pixar has never. Yeah, like Pixar has never been a yearly studio until recently. And if they can start taking like a couple of years to just get their acts together, and then
Like
like every other,
Valve almost, except not quite to the same extent.
well, yeah, like if they just let it alternate between every other year, one will be Pixar, the other one will be Disney.
That's
It
perfect.
will,
Wow.
yeah, that's perfect. That will allow Pixar to keep on maintaining and keep on even being more experimental, you know?
Because
I
if
agree.
because if Pixar managed to come out with a knockout like say 2015 or 16, that will force DreamWorks and everyone else to go, okay, these guys did a really damn good job with this one. We should probably make something even better than this. And then you'll see that progression thing going on, which I hope happens.
Yeah, yeah. I think that the best thing about it is that we're just gonna see. I think I think we're just gonna see better quality, and that's what we need. We need animation movies to up their game, you know.
Yeah.
That's definitely a good thing.
Um, so I guess what's between the four or under the blue sky as well? Which do you guys have a favorite?
I just go with whichever makes good movies, really. So in one instance, I'll like Pixar. In another instance, I'll maybe like Disney. Another, I'll like DreamWorks. And just I go with whoever makes the good stuff, basically.
I agree. That's my thing. I think so. I think the only reason why I have a soft spot for Pixar is because for the longest time they've just done really good movies, and it's been to the point where it's like, oh, here's a Pixar movie. You're going to like it and give it like an A, and then everybody's like, well, we liked it. Here's an A. But it's good now that they're getting pushback because now they're going to realize that it's not the same anymore. I hope that kind of translates to the TV realm where like people start giving like adults a run for their money because that makes things a lot better, you know?
Yeah.
And I find it funny too that a bunch of these other actual Disney films are actually being produced by John Lasseter, who's the guy who basically made this Pixar, which I find kind of amusing in some ways.
Yeah, which is good because at least he has been good at doing QC, and I think that's something that you need as a producer, being able to say when to cut the time short, when to manage it, when to say, look, I don't think this is a good idea, go do something else, etc., etc. You know?
Mm-hmm.
So what about individual favorites from the studios from the different studios?
Boy, that's a tough one. Let's see.
Honestly, I'll admit it. I think Shrek 2. Shrek 2 is good.
Shrek 2 had some hilarious moments. I'll admit.
Yeah, like Shrek 2 from DreamWorks, Blue Sky, never really did that. Despicable Me for what is it?
Illumination.
Illumination, and then for Pixar, I don't know. The same thing with Disney. I would put Tangled and what is it? And Frozen both at the same tier, but man, Pixar has like, wow. What would I put there on top? I couldn't. I'm not gonna lie. I could not tell you which one. Like there are so many good ones out of them that is just like it could be a toss up. That's how I feel.
I think I could probably try my hand at some of my favorites. I guess for DreamWorks, well, this one's pretty easy because of recently. How to Train Your Dragon. That was where I really loved them for that one. For Pixar, to be honest, I actually really enjoyed Wall-E.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's that one. And for Illumination, Despicable Me 2 was hilarious, so that was that one. For Disney, though, this is surprise you. I have two movies that kind of tie for favorites, and they're not the ones you're probably thinking of, but they're Atlantis: Lost Empire and The Emperor's New Groove.
Atlantis is great. I've seen the Emperor's New Groove. That was pretty good too.
Oh, I thought I always stuck to 3D. But like if you're talking like the whole entire Disney catalog, that's when we start getting like.
Yeah. I don't blame you though. But yeah, for 3D Disney,
Well, the thing is, I mean, you don't have a lot of
I
options
like
for 3D
Tangled and
Disney.
Frozen for different reasons. Put it that way. They're both good movies, but I like them for different reasons.
Okay. What about Ghibli?
Oh God, of the stuff I've actually seen, I think I'll have to go with Howl's Moving Castle.
Hmm.
That
Okay,
was a really
I can accept
interesting.
that.
That was really interestingly well done. I was kind of because it just you never really knew where it was gonna go and how it was gonna end, and then it was. Of course, you can't really go wrong with Christian Bale, considering that this is the post Batman Begins and all that. So it's kind of funny hearing Batman as this uh, kind of suave guy. So it's kind of funny to hear that.
I might need to rewatch that movie because when I first watched it, I couldn't get into it
Oh,
at
and
all.
Billy Crystal as as what basically amounts to a living fireplace, which you really cannot go wrong with.
Yeah, because a lot of people list that as their favorites. But yeah, uh, I guess for me, for Pixar, the number one would definitely be Ratatouille. I
That one's
love
Okay.
Ratatouille. Ratatouille, and then The Incredibles,
yes,
and
the
Toy
Incredibles.
Story 3.
Toy Story 3 is weird in the sense that it came out at an interesting time, but I don't know, something about it just like I know I'm supposed to feel something for it, but I find the previous ones were better than it. I don't know, something about it is like I know it's the ending of it. I know it is trying to make this really emotional impact, but something about it just made me like I felt they were trying too hard. Is what I felt they were trying. Was what I thought was going on. Like now I look back
That's
at it.
fair. That's fair. I mean, all three of the Toy Story movies are excellent
They're really
in their
good
own
movie.
way.
Really well
Um,
done.
like I even like Toy Story 2 quite a bit, even though a lot of people seem to not like that one. But
I will say I do like them for kind of trolling the whole Oscar bait thing. That was a really nice move, I have to say.
Hmm.
yeah. And then for Disney, for the 3D ones, and maybe just period, it would be Tangled. I like Tangled quite a lot. And then Beauty and the Beast. That's another one that I like.
That's a good choice.
2D, of course, Lion King, because that's yeah.
If I were to throw in one of my classic from that period, let's see. I think Aladdin would probably be the best one. Just
Oh
because
yeah,
Aladdin is great. Holy
Yeah.
crap! What an excellent movie.
like when it can when it can also get a really good game based off it, you know you did something right.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
just such a complete film. I feel like it feels so well done.
Yeah.
The games were actually the Genesis game for it. Even like both of them are really well done for like a Disney movie, which is kind of interesting that you would not expect because most people consider movie based games to be kind of iffy, but like for the time that one came out, pretty solid. So it spawned good stuff.
Yeah, Treasure Planet is another one that I'm really
Yes.
fond of.
Not as well known or received, but it still has some really nice twist on the whole Treasure Island type thing.
hmm And then for DreamWorks, I I think like a lot of people, I didn't actually think a lot of them initially for a while. Like I liked Ants well enough.
Oh yeah, right. I actually forgot about that one.
Yeah, and
Because
for Shrek.
what wasn't that the like After a Bug's Life, which
Yes.
Yeah, I remember everyone was kind of ragging on it because it felt like a ripoff of A Bug's Life, which I guess you could make a fair case for that, but like in and of itself, I just thought it was a well made movie.
Mhm.
Um, but and then for number one though, it would probably be How to Train Your Dragon. I was both surprised and like really, that's just a wonderful movie. I still think that's probably DreamWorks' best movie.
Like that was the movie where like you watch it, you're like, okay, this is DreamWorks. You watch it, then you go, wait, that was DreamWorks?
That was exciting.
They pulled they were like, okay, this is what DreamWorks was known for. Let's completely subvert everything. But I think the fact that they basically got Chris Sanders, who is the guy who did Lilo and Stitch, to do that movie kind of made a difference.
Oh yeah. I'm not gonna lie. Well, you could jack Disney talent. That's when you can start getting some stuff. Like I think Disney's
Oh, I just noticed something. Just sorry to do this, but I just noticed that DreamWorks did a couple other movies that I completely forgot they even did. The Prince of Egypt, The Road to El Dorado, Spirit Stein the Cimarron, and Sinbad Legend of Seven Seas. So they did some actual animated movies.
You know,
Yeah.
I completely forgot about those ones.
I'm not sure I've seen the Road to El Dorado or the Prince of Egypt. I keep feeling like I'm
Really?
really familiar with it, but
Okay,
I haven't seen either of them.
Those
Road
were
to El
good.
Dorado has a lot of innuendo. I'm not even
Is that the
kidding.
one with like that really curvy chick?
Yes, I forgot her
But,
name, but yeah, that was yeah.
all right, I'm in. What about Madagascar?
Let's forget about Madagascar.
So okay, I'll be honest. Apparently, I've heard. Yeah, the first one was kind of what the heck is this? The second one was better in some ways. I've heard some really good things about the third one though.
all I know for the third one is Afro Circus.
But I've heard like that the third one's actually pretty good.
Okay.
And I'm not gonna lie, I liked Monsters vs. Aliens a fair bit. I'm not gonna say it's a
It's
great
very
movie, but
quotable.
I
mean,
really liked it.
but it's very quotable, which is nice.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they also did. I completely forgot about this. They also did they didn't do this, but they produced Wallace and Gromit: The Curse of the Were Rabbit. How did I forget that?
Wow.
Like,
It's just crazy. I think DreamWorks has been, I think, it's always been like the number two, but that's also because like if you look at Disney, like this is what happens. Disney presents, and then you automatically know it's like at least a 4 out of 5. That's what it comes down to, you know. And it's kind of shocking in a way that we've gotten so used to that now you're seeing like all these other companies just kind of outdo them. Only Pixar outdid them, and then remember, Pixar got bought out by Disney, so then it's like, well, Disney now owns Pixar, and now it's Disney outdoing Disney, which means that they both get money. Disney gets money in the end, you know.
right.
Yeah.
Let's see. Another thing I want. This is something I noticed when I first saw the Croods. I decided to see who made it, and I remember hearing about Chris Sanders. Like, okay, so what's he done? And then while looking at the stuff he's done, I know the stuff he's doing. There is going to be after the third season of the How to Train Your Dragon TV series. There's going to be a third movie. There's going to be the Croods 2, apparently, and there's also going to be a Kung Fu Panda 3, which makes a lot of sense.
See, I enjoyed the first Kung Fu Panda, but that didn't strike me as something that had like the chops for a franchise. But
I know.
Yeah.
The second one was actually pretty good. I was expecting much of it, but it did a really. Actually, the second one's very dark. Actually.
Okay,
Like-
I haven't seen beyond the first one.
Okay.
But-
Well, I'll give you a summary. Basically, what happens is that this one guy, he essentially invents fireworks. Is what it amounts to. So he ends up basically constructing a cannon and tries to take over the China, basically. So obviously they send Poe to try to take him down, and they find out a lot about. He finds out a lot more about his past and all that, and it's kind of scary because you find out that Poe is actually part of an actual prophecy involving pandas, like badass pandas, basically taking him down. So he basically committed genocide to all the pandas, supposedly, or tried to anyway. And then you go, oh, didn't see that coming.
That does sound like a real change in tone.
Oh,
Yeah.
and the opening part of the movie basically involves the guy taking outright killing a kung fu master, and you're going, whoa, shit got real.
Yeah.
And I also agree with you with Rise of the Guardians. It's a great movie. If nothing else, because it's fantastically well animated. That's still probably one of the best animated movies, at least in terms of 3D CG, that like I've ever seen. And then for Ghibli, this is very easy. Kiki's Delivery Service.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
That's not just my favorite Ghibli movie or my favorite animated movie. That's probably my favorite movie of all time. I love Kiki's Delivery Service. Love it.
Is it weird that I have a soft spot for like their whole main character companion type things, just because of the other random stuff they'll say at any given time?
Yeah,
Like
yeah, the
for-
cat's great. Easy. And then Porco Rosso and Castle in the Sky would be the other
Yeah,
two.
Castle Sky is the one I think that keep getting confused with another one. But yeah.
Yeah, and Castle in the Sky was actually made, I think, before Ghibli. That was
Oh.
that's a really old movie. That was made in like
I'm
'89, I think.
confused because it's probably earlier than the studio itself, so it doesn't always get considered as one. That makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, there's also well, I think the thing is that we honestly think Studio Ghibli with Hayao Miyazaki movies,
Hmm.
but I think he's had his own work. The other Studio Ghibli movie that you probably don't know of, but is pretty much famous, is Grave of the Fireflies, which has been known for, aka How to Cry
I
Your Eyes Out.
refuse to watch that movie.
I've seen that
I
movie.
heard it's depressing as fuck, and I do not want to see it because of that. Like, I'm a guy who just like depressing stuff. I can't handle.
It really is, and
It hits me.
what's funny is I watched it in school. One of my Japanese teachers showed it to me,
Oh God!
or showed it to us at the end of the year.
God.
But
This movie, it's animated. Oh, it's gonna be happy. Oh God.
yeah, that's a movie that it's worth watching, like just to see what all the fuss is about. But it's not an enjoyable movie.
Well, at least now they know it's depressing. I'll be better prepared for it. I'll go, okay, something bad's gonna happen. Okay, okay, that makes sense. All right.
I remember one person saying that they were watching what was it, Grave of the Fireflies on the train. I'm like, that's the worst time to watch that movie.
Oh no.
That's like if you're on your way to work and you watch that, that's like you just show up to work and they're like, "Are you crying?" You're just like,
Don't ask.
yeah, you just go.
Please don't ask.
Yes, just go. Oh God, I'm like, I remember I posted. I was like, that's the worst time to watch it. Out of all the times you could do it, like the best time to watch it is when you're in your home. It's raining outside. It's already depressing, so you'll just get all that depressive emotion out of it.
Maximum depression.
Yes.
Well, we're not trying to get these people to kill themselves.
Oh God.
Yes, but there's, I understand this is all about art, but there are some, like, I always say limitations. There's some extremes that you shouldn't really try to go in. I know what you're trying to do, and I know this is what we're represented of, but there are other ways of doing it that don't involve complete depression. I mean, really.
Yeah, it's a great movie though.
As for studio, just as an aside, as for Studio Ghibli, I'll be honest and say I've only seen 4 actual movies from them. My neighbor Totoro, Kiki's Delivery Service, Spirited Away, and House of Castle. That's it.
All right, well, I haven't seen Totoro, so you're ahead of me there. But yeah, most of their movies are pretty great. Although I feel they're a little less consistent than, say, Pixar or Disney in terms of quality.
Yeah, I've ever mixed opinions about the recent stuff, like Ponyo and The Secret World of Arrietty, I believe.
I don't like Arrietty at all. It looks good, but the villain in that movie it makes no sense. That's all I'll say about it. But Ponyo was I think I actually saw that in theaters. That's a good movie.
Yeah.
Maybe not one of their best ones, but it's enjoyable. But yeah, it's as opposed to like Disney or like Pixar from a few years ago. There are Ghibli's they've made some excellent movies and they've made some mid-tier movies. The Cat Returns, I guess, and Tales from Earthsea.
I wouldn't mind seeing The Cat Returns, just because, I don't know why. Something about it makes me curious. Curiosity killed the cat. Lovely.
Yeah.
Fun.
Okay. But I think that's just about it. Anything else?
No, not really. Other than I did want to mention that Gundam Unicorn, just finished this past week, and that's been going on for years now. It's been a theatrical run in Japan.
Yeah, I don't know if this was mentioned yet, or anyone's heard of this, but apparently Kill la Kill is getting an English dub.
Yeah.
I'm actually very curious to see that, just to see who they choose for the voices. I still have to watch it myself.
They're doing a major thing. Aniplex is blowing out Anime Expo for this event, so. Yeah, yeah. I was gonna go to Anime Expo this year, and then I realized that I should have gotten the VIP tickets. I should have planned this a
Oh,
lot sooner. Like I honestly screwed up. If it would have clicked to me that in January that look, you should go to Anime Expo because the flights to Los Angeles and everything else should be relatively cheap.
and
You
then
know?
like, timing bad, crap.
Yeah, yeah. That's what I get for planning things. But now that I'll be like closer, I'll be close to a New York hub. So like
Oh,
now,
nice.
it won't matter now. My tickets will be fairly cheap in general. So, but yeah, yeah. It's just it's Killer Kill's gonna get a dub. I'm not surprised. It was going to happen one way or another.
I mean, put it this way: if they can dub PSG, they can pretty much dub anything at this point. And then,
Yeah.
and also, I can't believe I'm not even sure how I figured this out. Um, are either of you familiar with this one anime called High School DxD? I saw maybe an episode
Yeah,
but it.
yeah, I am.
Apparently, they made a dub of that.
Yeah, yeah, because Funimation will
I didn't know about that. I'm like, so I was trying to figure out a character name. I'm like, then like, wait, why is that an English character? Like, no, sorry. I tried to find some other guy's name, see what he was doing. Then I noticed him related to that. I'm like, wait, they made a dub of this? What?
Yeah. I think it's also I don't know, but one of the interesting things that ecchi series tend to actually sell fairly well. So I'm not
Well, I mean,
surprised.
Well,
that's no surprise.
honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but like that's pretty interesting though. Like I think it's gonna be I know it's kind of overstating it right now, but I think this is gonna be a good summer. Fingers crossed or whatever is like the good luck sign for things because I always get confused between fingers crossed being bad and fingers crossed being good.
That's usually a good luck sign. Usually, I'm not sure not sure what superstition you were, but most part it's considered good luck. Usually,
Okay.
even though it sucks for me since I have terrible luck all the time.
Do we know
Yeah.
what the season is looking like for summer?
No, we're probably gonna hear that towards the end. Like we're only halfway through.
I remember. Can't believe I forgot about this. They're making an animation like same style as Star Wars: The Clone Wars. They're making a Star Wars Rebels series that takes place
Oh
between the
yeah.
third and fourth movies. That looks kind of neat, actually. I'd be really
Wait, so it's
curious
gonna?
what happens between them.
Oh, so it's between the. It happens between the new movies and the old ones, the prequels.
Yes, exactly.
Huh.
And it's the same style as the CGI Clone Wars series. So hopefully it has the same good writing as that. Because if so, then that's gonna be one heck of a ride.
Yeah.
It comes out this fall, so that's gonna be really neat to see.
Yeah. You guys see they're doing another Persona 4 anime?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Because they need another Persona
They're
anime.
adapting the Golden.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't know. It's super redundant, but I don't know. It's another chance to adapt it, I guess.
And to make money off of Persona fans before they come up with Persona 5.
Have how was the original? Have either of you seen it?
I saw a couple of episodes. It was okay. It was
Alright.
okay.
I'll probably end up seeing it. It's a game-based series. I'll check it out probably at some point. I don't know when, but yeah. I have actually. Wait, is it based off the third game?
The new one?
No, the other one.
They're both based on Persona 4.
Oh, what?
Yeah,
Really?
they already made one Persona 4 anime, and then you know how they had the Vita version. They're
wait,
they're
so
they're
they-
adapting that one.
So they made the first one, which is based off the PS2 game, and then they made another one, which is based off the PS Vita game.
Yeah, the Vita game is the PS2 game. It's just with some
Yeah,
extra
yeah.
content.
I'll probably buy the PS2 version off of a PSN just because it's there, convenient. It's $10. I feel like searching for it online, so yeah.
Yeah.
I'll probably end up doing that before I actually watch it, just because.
Yeah.
Or watch it beforehand. Who knows?
And I thought that was kind of an interesting announcement. It's not often you see people get a chance to take another stab at adapting pretty much the same material. Like Fate Stay Night is getting another adaptation as well.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
They're remaking that anime.
Wait, which anime is this?
Fate Stay Night. Have you heard of it?
Oh, that one. Yeah. Wait,
Yeah.
How many iterations are there of this thing? I've heard
Multiple ones.
it's like
Because,
5 or
because
something.
Well, there's only one Fate Stay Night anime. But then there's like stuff because the visual novel is huge. There's like
It's based off one of those things. Okay.
yeah, and there's 3 like kind of main routes in the visual novel, and the anime supposedly adapts 2 of them. And how well of a job it does with that is another discussion. But
Is this one of those must-see animes, or is it okay that I haven't seen it yet, or should I eventually get around to seeing it?
I like Fate Stay Night. I think that's a great show.
All right, I'll have to look into that one. And that's my ever-growing list of stuff I haven't seen yet. God damn
Yeah,
it.
and then they had Fate Zero, which is a prequel.
Oh, yes.
And that one's supposed to be excellent as well.
I like prequels for some reason. I don't know why.
Yeah. Yeah, and then they're taking another stab at adapting Fate Stay Night, the anime. So we'll see how that turns out. After Fate Zero, like they probably can do a better job because they did a really good job with Fate Zero.
Speaking of visual novels, if they probably won't now because of production IG completely murdering BlazBlue. But once X-Blaze comes out, since it's a visual novel for all intents and purposes, if they ever get around making anime based off that, hopefully they find a better studio for it.
Huh.
well, I think production IG's better with their own IPs rather than adapting. They're like Gainax. Yeah, or like they should just stick to their own IPs instead of trying to adapt others. They do a lot better.
Which is then strange because they apparently worked on the cutscenes for the Chrono Phantasma, which baffles me how that's better than the actual anime is.
Well, it's a lot easier to make cutscenes
yes.
than it is to
It just
write a whole anime.
Yeah.
Produce.
It's just kind of annoying. That's all. Just like, don't remind me of that crappy one, please.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess if there's nothing else, we'll wrap up.
Yep. So just a little bit of an announcement. I know I'm supposed to get the Plightcast out, the old episodes out. The only reason why I haven't been able to do that is because I can't upload them up to YouTube without having a video, but I am working on it. By July, like absolute latest, that will be when I will have. I hope to get them out a lot sooner, so that we can actually have like things out and you can be able to like listen to them and stuff.
Usually you can put a video up if it has a picture to go with it, usually.
Yeah.
So if you want, I can just quickly brush up something and just send it to you if you want.
Yeah, I'll see what we can do, but I'll work on that. And then I think that's just about it. I'll probably look into other ways of making sure that it gets through. But yeah. So, but that's pretty much it. You know, if you want to find us, we're on the Plightcast. You can always just post there for comments, questions, comments, concerns, anything there. You can get us there. You can hit me up on Twitter with my handle name, Kari Elson, or through other means and stuff like that. But besides that, I think that's it. So yeah,
right,
this is Kari Elson signing off.
And I'm Solo.
And this is Cabaltios.
And I guess this has been Plightcast number 8. Bye.
Yep. Have a good rest of the week. See you.
Have a happy Victoria Day.